listening to Mondays with Mike Martinez.
Hey guys, welcome back to Mondays with Mike. I have another special guest, an amazing person, a remarkable businessman, my boy, Erick Stella. I met him at Cardone Ventures at 10X Events. Thank you for coming out from LA all the way to our headquarters. I appreciate you making the commute, making the time to come and visit and chop it up with us here on the podcast. Let's introduce yourself. Where did you grow up? What's your name, once again, for the record, and what business are you in, brother?
All right, thank you. Hey, happy to be here. I grew up in LA in Hawthorne, city of Hawthorne. When I was younger, about 8 years old, we moved to Peru, South America. Lived there for about almost 5 years, came back, moved around a little bit, but yeah, just always pretty much lived in LA, lived a few years in Riverside after college, but here I am.
Peru, are you Peruvian?
My dad's from Peru, and then my mom is from Honduras.
Honduras, okay. Crazy mix, huh?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. My wife is half Guatemalan. My mother-in-law's from Guatemala, so I hear you. And then my stepdad, he was from El Salvador. He passed during COVID. Okay. But yeah, so I'm familiar with the culture a little bit. All right, great. So you talk about your education real quick. Sure. You said that you went to college.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that to be a successful business person, you need to have formal education. I've talked about it before. Is that true? What's your education level?
I would say that, so I went to college for business. I got a degree in marketing from Cal State Long Beach. And I've always, you know, even through college, I had a business. You know, I've always been kind of like doing sales, trying different businesses. It's always been sort of like my passion and my vision to run a successful business. But I can tell you that even running a business for 20 years, having tried different things, what we're doing and learning right now, you don't learn in college and you don't learn by just doing business, right? And that's really one of the things that we're trying to instill in our team and even in our agents is helping them understand that. And what we're applying in our business now, me being in business for over 20 years, I'm trying to instill that in our team today, right? So that they can grow faster and we can grow faster.
In business, 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? You've tried different business ventures in 20 years. Bro, you look like you're 20. How old are you?
I'm 41.
All right. So I just turned 41.
Really?
Last week.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's great. So let me ask you this now.
Yeah.
You grew up in LA. How was your upbringing? Did anything in your childhood or the way you grew up, did anything influence you and your mindset becoming a business person, do you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say, so my dad, when I was younger, did real estate. He had different businesses here. And when we moved to Peru, he also went entrepreneur side. When we moved back, I started working with my dad really young, maybe about 12 years old. I would go with him to do sales. And so when I was like 12 years old, I didn't like talking to people, right? Very introverted. And so, but I think it was an influence by force. I kind of started talking to people and realized I'm actually pretty good at selling. So I'd say that's kind of, that was a big influence for me is.
Did you have to sell as a kid?
I didn't. You
just wanted to?
I wanted to. I'd go to help out. I like to be in the environment. But my dad would take off like, hey, I'm going to go to the restroom really quick. And he wouldn't come for like 2 hours. And so we used to sell at the swap meet at different, like, you know, at the swap meet.
Why was that? Would he stay stuck on the phones or what? No, selling or just mingling with people?
A little break, right? And then while he was, you know, taking his walk around, I would have to now like explain to people, you know, offer like the, you know, the products that we were selling.
Probably did it on purpose.
And then, exactly. And then little by little, I started realizing, wow, like they're actually listening to a 12-year-old. And that kind of really sparked the beginning of what I believe now is the greatest asset that I have, right? Is the ability to be able to like, to sell.
You know what I think, what comes to mind when you explain that? Buyers want to buy.
Yeah.
So sell them. Like if a person wants to buy something, you go to a car dealership, you're looking for a car. You ain't there for the most part. You ain't there just wasting your time. You're there because you want to buy something. Yeah. And we have that saying too in debt collections, payers are payers, right? So depending on how aggressive you're going to be on the phone or whatever you're telling them on the phone, a payer that wants to pay their bill is going to pay their bill. And it's the same thing in sales. Somebody that wants to be sold is going to buy. So just sell them, bro.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that also reminds me of me as a kid.
Yeah.
I was very introvert. I was very quiet as a kid. I wouldn't talk much. And then like 13 years old, I started selling chocolates at the gas stations in those big tubs, you know, and in the white vans, the white pedophile vans and shit. They'll drop me off at the gas station. I had to sell chocolates. And I did it because I wanted to make money. Yeah. I didn't have to do it. I wanted to make money as a kid, 13 years old. And then 15 years old, 15 and a half, I started doing telemarketing. Try to get a job, and this big Armenian dude's like, I can't hire you. You're a stupid Mexican kid. You have an accent, Mexican kid accent. I'm like, give me a chance, you know? And he taught me how to telemarket. I was doing cold calling for roofing, windows and stuff. And I was pretty damn good at it. Like I became a Canvas door-to-door manager at like 16 and a half years old. So I could definitely, I understand your story.
Yeah.
I had to because my daughter was born when I was 16 years old, my first child. And my mom's like, I'm not going to support your kid. I'm just not going to.
Necessity.
It was a necessity. I had to do it. So that's great, bro. I know that you're very successful in your industry. And can you explain, because I'm going to explain it as you told me you're a Medicare insurance agent. Yeah. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. Can you explain what that, I've heard of life insurance agent. Yeah. I've heard of house, insurance agents. I've heard of car insurance agents. Like, what the fuck is a Medicare insurance agent?
It's like the greatest secret in the insurance business, right? And nobody ever, like in our industry, I always joke, nobody ever says, hey, when I grow up, I want to be an insurance agent, or let alone a Medicare agent, right? Because most people don't even know what that is. So what we do is we're a life and health agency, like a brokerage. And what our niche is really helping people who have Medicare. Medicare is insurance for people who are 65 years old or older, or who have a disability. So it's insurance that you get through the government. Every time we get a paycheck, we're paying taxes for Medicare. And so when you turn 65, you get this insurance, but the insurance doesn't cover the whole bill, right? So what we're offering is we're offering the insurance that people have to get to complement their Medicare coverage.
Do they have to pay for it?
So there's a couple options. They go with the Medicare supplement, which is like top tier insurance. There's a premium for that. But the amazing thing is that the other option, which is mostly what we sell, is Medicare Advantage plans. And a lot of the plans don't have any costs. So if you come from sales, right, there's this idea that you get what you pay for, right? You want better coverage, you want better quality, you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay more for it. In this industry, where most of the insurance plans don't cost the beneficiaries, the clients, or clients anything, you literally can give them better coverage and it doesn't cost them anything extra. Our services are at no cost. So the way we earn money is whenever the member enrolls into a plan, pretty much we get paid for signatures, right? If they sign up on that insurance plan, we get paid by the insurance company on the back end. Our services are at no cost. And a lot of times they don't have any cost for the insurance plan.
How easy is it to sell something that's free?
I'm saying, like, if you can't sell free, like, you don't belong.
If you can't sell free, bro, you ain't a salesperson.
Not only that, Mike, but we get lifetime residuals. So when we sign somebody up, you get a commission for that member. And as long as they stay on the insurance, you get paid every single year for it. They're not big commissions, but you're building a book.
You're compounding your residual income.
You're building a book of business that's just going to pay you for life.
It's like us in debt collections. I just had my tech meeting, and in tech, we're not supposed to really talk about finance, but we talked a little bit about finance because it was working hand in hand with our technology. Right. So I asked my head of technology, my director of tech, I asked Richard, I said, can you check through our software how much we have in payment plans scheduled throughout the lifetime of the payment plans that we give consumers, like debtors that want to make payments on their accounts? So he says, sure. So I have a small business that started with a partner in Greenville, South Carolina, a small collection agency. We've only been in business for about 4 months. Okay. We have $750,000 in payments lined up throughout the life of the payment plans. My larger agency, we have almost $3 million lined up in payments, right? And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. How did we get 750,000 when we just launched like 4 months ago? And what they explained is that my large agency always goes after the whole balance when the smaller agency is taking a lot of payment plans. So it's compounding. Yeah. But there is nothing like residual income.
Oh, yeah.
You come into the month and you're already profiting. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah. So that's great, bro. When did you get started in that business?
So I've been in the business for about 17 years. You know, again, I never thought about getting into business, but I have a lot of family in the business. So my mom was doing insurance sales, Medicare insurance sales while I was in high school. Never paid attention to it, never really knew what she did. My dream was to do real estate. So right after college, I got licensed. I moved to Riverside to do insurance sales. And a couple years in, my brother had started doing insurance in San Diego with a cousin of mine who started an agency. And they needed somebody to run appointments in Riverside for Medicare. I had gone to a presentation, a seminar that my mom invited me to.
For that business?
For Medicare, yeah. She invited me to, I guess she was trying to bring me into the business maybe. I'm not really sure. But I remember she mentioned like, hey, come out to this seminar. She was doing a seminar with a Health Net rep, a friend of hers, and in Hemet. And I was really impressed because by now I've been in sales. And so when I saw what they did, I was just amazed. It was a presentation. It was her and a Health Net rep who he did the presentation on their product. There was about 65 seniors in this, I think it was like a Marie Callender's. He did a presentation.
Wait, there was 65 seniors at a Marie Callender's? That doesn't make sense. They don't like Marie Callender's.
Oh yeah, they do. There are 65 people, and what caught my attention is he passed out the booklets. And when he finished, he said, all right, everybody open up the booklet and then start writing in your name. And I saw every single person start enrolling themselves into the insurance plan. And I was like, damn, I was just amazed, right? So easy. Again, it didn't cost them anything. And they enrolled themselves after the presentation.
He didn't ask him. He told him.
Told him to do it. Yeah.
He just told him, hey, just sign up.
And what did I do after that? I was like, damn, that's amazing. And I went back to do real estate because that was my passion. That was my dream.
So then you went back and did real estate. When did you do that U-turn and come back to that?
So the agency that my brother worked for, they needed somebody to run appointments in Riverside. And so this is around that 2007, 2008. And so they sent me these appointments. I had gone to this presentation. So it was like easy, right? Literally, I said, I just got to read the book and sign people up. So I did 10 sales my first week, 17 my second week. And then I get a call from my cousin who runs the agency. And she was like, hey, I think you're pretty good at this. And I was like, she's just trying to get me into the insurance business, right? But I made about $7,000 in 2 weeks. And I had been working 12-hour shifts doing real estate, not making money because in Riverside, right, the houses that were worth $400,000 were now worth $150,000. Properties were falling out of escrow.
What year was this?
Like 2007, 2008.
Yeah. That sounds right.
So at one point I was kind of like, all right, well, this is easy, right? You're getting paid quicker. I'm not having to talk about money, right? They don't have to write me a check. I literally was getting paid because I was helping them enroll into an insurance plan, and it's pretty simple.
Dude, what kind of marketing do you do in this industry?
Now or back then?
I mean, let's say now.
Well, you know, something that we're implementing right now is we're doing a lot more digital marketing for this market. In 2020, everything kind of shut down, right? So we probably spent about $60,000 working with a marketing agency that was vetted by the big carrier, United Healthcare. They work with them, and we said, all right, this is a great opportunity. We invested $60,000, got no results. Right now, we're starting to do more marketing. We're working with Patrick from the 10X team. And dude, we're starting to see some traction. So I think that to me is like the big opportunity in our market right now.
You don't do door knocking?
No, we can't actually do door knocking in our business.
They don't let you solicit.
We can't do cold calling. We can't do door knocking.
You can't do outreach. You can only take incoming.
We can only take incoming calls.
Gotcha.
For the particular Medicare Advantage product, that specific product, which is what we sell the most, we can't do any like hard soliciting, cold call soliciting, but they could reach out to us for sure.
What about like social media? Can you do meta ads?
Yeah, we could do
I don't know too many people over 65 on TikTok, but
You'll be surprised actually. I think there's a lot of seniors on TikTok.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I know last I checked, they were all on Facebook. They're starting to convert over to Instagram. I couldn't imagine that you'd have seniors on TikTok.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So
maybe Twitter.
I think like the first 4 years we did no advertisement.
It was all like references.
Everything was
referrals.
Grassroots, referrals. But a big part of what we did in our agency is we partner with providers. So we work with the doctors. And so the doctors will refer us their patients to sign up on an insurance plan that they accept. And pretty much the first 4 years, we took our agency from 0 to 1.2 million with no advertisement costs. Just
20, like around 2020?
That was, we started in 2012.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we've been in business.
Damn, you've been in business a long time then. Yeah. That's awesome. So, bro, let me ask you, when you got started, like what were the biggest struggles? Were you scared to start your business? A lot of people, they go from being an employee to starting a company. Like I did that. A lot of people that I know did that.
Yeah.
That's really scary. Did you do that? Or what were your biggest challenges?
I'd say I was kind of the opposite, right? Because I've always been self-employed. Like I've always worked for myself. I tried starting my first business with my brother at 16 years old. And as soon as I turned 18, I started, doing sales. So I wasn't really concerned with not making money because that's kind of like how it was built, But what I did do is I started working for my cousin's company. So she wanted to expand into LA County, and I moved from Riverside back to LA because I had a business out here. And so she pretty much said, hey, we want to open up an office, and they gave me this opportunity to open up their LA market. For me, that was going to be like the first opportunity I have to really learn in somebody else's business.
Yeah.
And so I did work for her for 2.5 years. In those 2.5 years, I built relationships with all the big medical groups in LA County. And so when I did the leap to starting my own company, I wasn't really scared because I was comfortable with that level of risk.
You were already successful within the industry and you were already well connected. So it wasn't really...
And that was the thing. Yeah. I had a relationship I had built, and when they knew that I was going to go to potentially just doing sales again, like go from working for somebody to just, going back into sales, which is what I started with, right? I started doing sales in Medicare. They brought me in. I had the opportunity to learn, how I could pretty much learn on somebody else's dime is the way I look at it, right? So I knew I was making more money before I took the job. I actually made less money in the job, but I wasn't taking that job for the money I can make. I was taking it for an opportunity to gain experience, really test what I can do, and with no risk, really.
So did you have any challenges?
Yeah, of course. You always have challenges when you start up.
What was your biggest frustration or your biggest thing that you had to overcome?
I think in anything I've done, the biggest challenge for me has always been the people part of the business, right? Even before doing insurance, I always knew that... Not
the customers, though. Your own team.
I'm talking about like people, like the people you got to work with, right? Building the team when you hire people. And so I think the first 4 years, I'd say were pretty good in the sense that every year I was doubling revenue, just doing what I knew to do.
Yeah.
Right. The challenge really happened after that 4th year. That 4th year, I pretty much felt like, hey, I've hit my income targets, probably exceeded my income targets. I didn't really have a big long-term vision for the business.
So your own individual income targets, not as a company.
Because
even though you were already your own business technically.
Yeah, but it's kind of like I I've always knew I wanted to run my business. I knew that this was like the most natural next step is to just go back into what I knew now, this healthcare insurance business. But my first kind of target and goal was just to replace my and my wife's income because we wanted to start a family. So that's really the number one goal was I need to make enough that covers what I was making as an employee and replacing my wife's income because she wanted to stay home once we had kids. So that's really like probably how far I was thinking as far as target goes, right? So once we hit that 1.2, then I figured like, hey.
Was this around 2016?
This was around 2016, correct. Then I said, hey, why don't I just go in and start growing the business a little bit? Let's try marketing. So we started doing some radio campaigns and we started doing that kind of advertisement and we grew, but this is where I started hitting a slower growth. I wasn't doubling anymore, right? We're still growing, but I'm starting to go outside of what I was good at, right? I was starting to test a little bit of the
You were no longer a technician?
Yeah. Now I'm getting into, doing some TV commercials, doing radio, and it's not what I'm comfortable with, but I felt like it's something I had to do to try to grow the business.
You're starting to be more of a business person at this point.
Yeah.
And you said you have a degree in marketing.
I have a degree in marketing, yeah.
So that was probably frustrating.
Yeah.
Where you know what you're doing, technically you're educated in that aspect of marketing and you're applying it to your own business because now you have a craving to grow and it's not working the way you wanted it to. Was that your first frustration as a business owner?
I think I was overconfident, right? Because what I did was I said, all right, hey, this is working out really well. So I think in that year, I went from 3 employees to 10 employees, like in a matter of like 3 months. And then I started doing the advertisement and that team of people that I hired to take calls, to set up appointments, dude, I didn't know how to hire. I didn't know how to pull the right people in. I just pretty much, when I was interviewing, this is how crazy it is. When I was interviewing, if they were nice and they needed the job, I would be like, oh man, you're hired. I'm going to help you, right? That was kind of like, I just figured, hey, they're really nice. If they're nice to the clients, it's a done deal.
So you were thinking, I'm going to help you with this job instead of how you're going to help me by getting this position.
I overestimated what it requires to do a good job, right? Because I think that the challenge that people who are top performers in something, so if you think about a top salesperson, we sometimes assume that others can do the same thing, right? So when I bring somebody on, I say, dude, this is easy. So of course, I'll train you and you're going to get it done. You're going to be able to do it. And in our business, it's not the person that's the biggest salesperson that does well. I feel like in our industry, if you have like that helping heart, it's more about trust. And so you don't need like the salesy person. You just need somebody who cares. And now I know you need some sales skills, but I just overestimated.
You don't need a shark.
You don't need a shark.
You need somebody that cares, that has high communication skills.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's good.
So long story short, that's where I started suffering in the business because I had hired the wrong people. It was costing me probably 10 grand that I was like losing an opportunity. And I didn't have the heart to let them go. I couldn't confront that. And so I was just paying and paying and paying. It was hurting the business's growth. And I wasn't willing to do what it was going to take to correct that.
Have you done the People's Workshop already?
Oh, yeah. We've learned a lot through
Cardone Ventures. Was that one of the first workshops that you did?
Definitely going to some of these workshops has helped me elevate, but there's been a lot of learning between that action I took and even starting at Cardone. But I can say that with Cardone Ventures and some of those workshops, it's definitely helped me take a lot of the growth and improvement we've made internally to a whole different level.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So let's fast forward. When did you start working with Cardone Ventures?
Just last year, I think March of 2023, around March or April of 2023.
March of 2023. So when you started working with them last year, well, let's talk about 2022. Do you remember roughly what your revenue was?
I would say, I think probably around 3.5, 3.6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about last year?
Last year we were around 3.8.
What about
3.8, 3.9.
What about this year?
This year I think we're tracking to 4.2.
And then what's your target next year?
Next year we're targeting 6.
Okay. So I know you mentioned that this year you have right now about 17 employees. Yeah. What has been the biggest opportunity that you've been able to take advantage of, or what has been the biggest driving factor that you feel has attributed to your success this year?
The people part, right? The biggest weakness that we have is also the greatest opportunity. So this year, actually implementing a lot of things that we're picking up from like Brandon and Natalie Dawson has really helped us, you know, get higher level talent into our business. And, you know, the way I look at it now is for me to really hit those targets, those bigger targets that we have in the business, we need to bring in excellent people, right? Remarkable people. So that's like been the biggest one. And I think that we're going to start seeing the impact of the people that we brought in. Just in the past 6 months, we've brought on like, I think 8 new people to our team. We've had to like replace some people that we had on the team for some time. I think that just the talent we're bringing in the organization is just like next level. So I'm a lot more confident now so that we can hit those targets.
The right way this time.
Exactly. Yeah.
What all have you done with Cardone Ventures and with 10X?
We've done 10X 360. We platformed. We're still kind of like working on platform. And then we're working with the SBU team.
And then what about all the little workshops? You've done all of them?
Yeah, we do workshops. I fly out some of our leadership to them. Right now we're in our busy season, so we're kind of like cold with all of the workshops. But in the new year, I'm envisioning bringing some other teammates out to some of these workshops that we have.
So you've done people's, leadership.
I personally have done people's, leadership,
sales and marketing.
I haven't done the sales and marketing because every time I'm trying to sign up, it's like the sales one, which I've heard the best. I bet I've heard that one is like one of the best workshops. It's sold out every time I'm trying to get it. So I have to like book that a little bit more in advance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Any other workshops that you can think of? Have you been to a 10X Business Summit? I know you've been to a 9-figure boardroom. I met you at one.
I'm not sure about the 10X Business Summit. I'm not sure about
Okay, that's a really good 2-day event. It's lower level. Picture like a 10X 360, but more vague.
Okay.
Not as deep, not as detailed and catered to your specific business, and not that intimate one-on-one time that you get for them to help you with your business. It's more like it's a 10X 360 event, large event.
Got it.
Where you don't really have the opportunity to ask them questions regarding your business specifically. Yeah. It's more they're just, giving you information with a fire hose.
Yeah.
They're just spraying you with information on how to run your company. So it's really good. Operations
events are like eye-opening, right?
Oh, dude, you come back changed. My team's scared when we go because they're like, what is it? What are they going to change when they get back? They're already used to it, and they know that when we go to an event and we come back, they know that if I do change something, it's for everybody's benefit.
Yeah.
So they don't fight me on it, but they are a little nervous because everybody's afraid of change. Everybody's scared of change. No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, everybody's scared of change.
Yeah, it's resistant, but also a lot of what we brought back in, our team, for the most part, has loved it, right? Like we've seen a lot of internal growth with our core team as we start implementing things like PPFs. Like that was like the first game changer for some of our employees.
Yeah, personal, professional, financial goals, exactly. Planning with your team. So operations is another great workshop.
I did that one. Yeah.
Business finance.
I haven't done finance yet. I want to do all of them, right? So finance, revenue, the new one.
I haven't done that one. Yeah. They always have the BMLP the same weekend. So I got to talk to Jeremy about that. But yeah, so what is your plan next year to get to your $6 million target?
Yeah. So marketing is key, right? So marketing is kind of going to be one of the biggest attributors to it, because we need more flow, and we're also looking to build our team up, our sales team. And there's two ways we do that. One is we do have an internal, like a W-2 sales team, sales force that we want to grow. And the other part is like really equipping agents, right? So in our industry, an agent, the majority of agents are 1099. So they're like solopreneurs in many cases. And what I find is that a lot of agents that are successful in our business, because they're building a book of business, one of the challenges I see is that the sales agent doesn't look at what they're doing as a business many times, right? They're helping people, and if they're very good at it, then they're growing a book of business, and they probably get to about $250,000, and a couple things may happen, right? One is when you start off and you're brand new, everybody you sell is just a sell, right? Like you're selling that. And so their role, let's say, is a sales and marketing, right? But then just the next year, open enrollment comes. This is when people can change their plans. And now they are selling, they're doing some level of marketing, and now they're doing customer service. And as that book grows and grows and grows, their shift between sales, which is growing their business, starts shifting more and more into retention, which is customer service. And if agents aren't thinking bigger, what happens is they get to about 250,000 and they're spending a lot of their time now just retaining what they built. And they get comfortable, right? Because it's residual. So you're not having to hustle as much. And so a couple things happen in our business. My top agents that I count on for growth now are not pushing the business forward.
They plateau?
They plateau. They get comfortable, take longer vacations, spend more time with family, which is all great. But the biggest challenge, right, is because they're not thinking about how they can continue to grow. They're not thinking, oh, I need help. I need somebody to answer my calls. They're not thinking that they're worth, $300 an hour, and they're still taking a customer service call, doing a three-way call to the insurance, things like that. So my first challenge and kind of like vision was, let me help agents understand that they should be running their practice as a business would. And so we've invested a lot in our agents to help them do that. Now what we're doing is a lot of what we're implementing to scale our agency, we're starting to teach that to our team and help them see that there's so much more potential. So if they're making $250,000, see that there's a way that they could get to $1 million.
You're going to build a monster company, bro. Yeah. I love what you're explaining to me. That model is amazing. So we kind of discussed a little bit with my company in the next few years is possibly offering like my top producers a partnership where they branch off and I give them a bigger percentage. The ones that are commission only, I give them a bigger percentage, but now they're responsible for building a team and things like that. That is a massive, massive opportunity of model. Yeah. And I know that you're going to do amazing with it. I want to talk about the breakpoints real quick.
Sure.
So breakpoints, and I love that you're a 10Xer and that you've been trained and educated by Cardone Ventures, because we speak the same language now, right? Right. Winners speak the same language in business. So the breakpoints is breakpoint 0 to $1 million is breakpoint 0. 1 to 3 million is breakpoint 1. 3 to 8 million is breakpoint 2. That's where you're at right now.
Right.
3 to 8 million. Breakpoint 3 is 8 to 15 million. That's breakpoint 3. Every breakpoint requires different activities, different skills, different competencies to be able to break through and get to the next one. So I know your target is 6 million in breakpoint 2.
Right.
Why not target 8 million? And this is just me as a friend.
Of course.
Just pointing out, I'm just pointing out a breakpoint to you. That's all I'm doing. Why not target to get past breakpoint 2 and slide right into breakpoint 3? Right. Because you're right now currently at breakpoint 2 and you've been stuck there. So working with your SBU team, and this is just a Cardone Venture business advisor in me, right? Just saying, hey, bro, why not just smash through that breakpoint and hop into the third break point. If you're shooting for big goals, you know, like challenge yourself because you're going to get to 6 million. Like, that's easy.
Those are like the next little steps, right? Because what we're going to see in our business, we're going to see like a ramp up period, right? So there's things that we're working on internally to like really create that foundation for us to be able to hit 6, 10, and just like continue to like.
Yeah. And just for the record, I've been stuck at breakpoint 4. So I'm at, we're gonna land right around 22 million this year, just for Empire and a couple of small branches that I pulled in, maybe 23 million. But I got into breakpoint 4 last year when I finished at 18 million. So I crossed from 13 to 18 from 2022 to 2023. So I went from breakpoint 3 to breakpoint 4 last year. And this year, I wanted to go to breakpoint 5, and I'm still stuck at breakpoint 4. And I expressed my frustration to Brandon Dawson, and I'm like, I don't know how I had a 30% growth and then a 15% growth. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And he says, well, you took all the low-hanging fruit. Like, you fixed all the little things that were broken that you identified quickly that were easy to fix, like PPFs, aligning your team with your targets and goals, working with them one-on-one to develop them, forcing them, encouraging them, inspiring them to do trainings. That's all low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Aligning your teams to your vision and your goals. So now I'm looking to cross over to breakpoint 5. And it's been more challenging than I thought. I thought I would have done it this year. So I'm definitely going to cross 25 million next year. My minimum target is to do 30 million in revenue. Between all my collection agencies, I'd even like to do 35 million. So I'll be stuck at breakpoint 5 for a while, but I got to get through breakpoint 4 to 5.
Yeah.
So I just encourage you as a friend, seeing where you're at, seeing what you're capable of, seeing your vision. Now that you've explained it more in detail, dude, smash to breakpoint 3, bro.
All right.
Don't get fucking stuck in breakpoint 2 next year. Smash through, you know? So I know it's going to take a lot of attracting the right talent. It's going to take,
it's like number one,
attracting the right people, aligning them with your target, with your goals, with your vision. So let's say that there's insurance people out there or somebody that wants to get into the industry. Do you hire and take on people, add people to your team that really don't have experience?
That's really how we built our agency. We're, you know, the way I look at it is there's different type of agencies. A lot of the agencies just kind of work on, it's a numbers thing, right? Just bring in as many people as you can, sink or swim. We've been very focused on equipping people. So a lot of our top agents today, I started with no experience in sales, no experience in healthcare. And I mean, out of all of the businesses I've done, not only has this been in some ways like the easiest business, it's also been the most profitable one. So yeah, we bring people in with no experience. We're really trying to align with people who, whether they have no experience or not, but they're thinking bigger, top performer personalities, because with the value that we can add, it's really about, again, helping them 10x so that we can get to our 10x targets even faster.
I love that, dude. So you're looking for people that are go-getters.
Go-getters, yeah.
Inspirational mindset, people that care about the elderly community, right? You're not, people. Yeah, it's about people, right? Yeah. So you care about informing them and giving them that extra coverage that is going to benefit them in their lives, especially at that age and that point in their life. They need it.
Yeah.
So aligning those right people, attracting those right people. So if you guys are listening and you guys are interested in joining his team, he's going to the moon. How much do top performers make, you know, on average annual?
So top, I mean, there's levels to it, right? Depending on how big their book is, I'd say you're looking at 200,000 to maybe 300,000 or 400,000, and still kind of not even tapping into building, right? And that's where we're trying to get our agents that are between 200 and 400,000. We're saying, like, if you just apply some of the practices that we're doing, you could take it to $1 million. I mean, when I started, without even knowing all of this, I took our agency from 0 to 1.2 in 4 years, right? Then we hit 1.6. So everybody can do that, really. They're not building the foundation.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome, bro. So if you guys are interested, where can they find you to reach out to you to ask for an opportunity or just to network with you?
I'm on LinkedIn, but also on Instagram, Erick Stella 783. And just DM me. Happy to have a conversation and see how we could.
Yeah, I'm going to collaborate. I'm going to be tagging you on my Instagram. And guys, look, I love doing podcasts with people like you, fellow 10Xers, especially the ones that understand the trainings and the mindset of Brandon Dawson and Cardone Ventures. I love all the executive team over there. They've helped me go from 11 million to 13 million to 18 million to 20, 22, 23 million this year. I'm going to 35 million. So what it takes to scale is having the right mentors in your corner. So if anybody's interested in that, you guys can send me a DM on social media and I'll guide you through 10X, through Cardone Ventures, trainings and platforms. And depending on where you're at, right? Not everybody's in the same place. Yeah. There's people that are starting off. I got a DM earlier today. This guy is in solar and he's asking me, for coaching. I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore. I don't do group coaching anymore. What I will do is I'll guide you into Cardone Ventures to learn from the best on the planet on how to grow your business, how to scale, not just yourself, but your teams. And somebody that's at 250,000 of revenue with 1 or 2 people helping them out is going to be different. They're going to start somewhere different than somebody at $20 million where I'm at. There's levels to this shit, right? So your starting point will be completely different. But if anybody's interested, send me a DM so you can get around people like me, people like Erick, and you can build that friendship and that bond with people that think big and are here to help each other win.
Absolutely.
So Erick, I love you, brother. Thank you for coming all the way out to my headquarters. I know it's a drive in LA. I know it is freaking killer to get around, the LA area. So I really, really, bottom of my heart, I thank you for coming out. And let's stay connected, bro. And let's show these guys what 10Xers do.
All right.
All right.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, my man. Thanks. Love you, brother. All right, guys. Hey, if you took value away, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment if you want to know more about how Erick's doing. When somebody has a big target to scale, I always like to invite them back in about a year. So let's plan on seeing you back here at the end of next year so that we could see you cross that $8 million and slide into Breakpoint 3. Let's get it, guys. We'll see you next time, Mondays with Mike.